Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to do a story titled, My Fiancée, a 30-year-old female, a nurse, cheated on me with one of her patients. And a shout out to AM for sending this story. And guys, this story is about a guy who obviously is ending his engagement with his fiancée, a nurse, after she's hooking up with one of her patients. I mean, it's bad enough that she's cheating on her guy here, not to mention the father of her kid, because they have a kid together. Hopefully it's his kid. But also worse yet, with one of her patients. I mean, you talk about violating a code, which could probably make her lose her nursing license or whatever they got. But anyhow, guys, here's the thing. Do you think that she has the slightest bit remorse for her actions? No. No, she decides to blame it all on him. Everything. It's all his fault. Never ceases to amaze us about the gals and accountability. And I've been going to go over here, guys, making the point, once again, this is why best to avoid the relationship with the nurses. There's a certain stereotype here that's pretty darn heavy. And two, also about the gals and accountability. It is amazing the lengths they go to justify their actions, and it's never ever their fault. Why nature or the Lord wired them to be that way, I will not know. But the point is, guys, you are aware of this whole thing. And oh yeah, P.S., this guy's got video footage. So, starts off, says here, we've been going through a rough patch lately, and this week she sat me down and told me she needed a break from our relationship to find herself and to learn to love herself again. Right out of the Hobag Handbook. Find herself, that usually means find herself in bed with Chad or Tyrone. Or learn to love herself again means having Chad or Tyrone love her a whole lot. What a load of crap. I told her that's as good as a breakup for me, and that I wanted her to be sure that this is what she wanted. She said it was unfair of me to give her an ultimatum. You're breaking up with me. That's what you're doing. So no. I'm going to say what I got to say. Well, we own a house together and have a 3-year-old child, so this has been very difficult. I'm going to state the obvious. How do you know that kid's yours? Given her behavior here, I'd be getting a DNA test pronto. And an STD test, as we're about to see. Well, as soon as the breakup conversation came up, I grew suspicious and started connecting the dots. She's been taking a lot of overtime lately with the excuse that we need the money for home renovations. And on her night shifts, she's been doing her makeup and hair versus the usual quick shower and a ponytail. Here's a quick test. Does her paycheck match up with the extra hours she's working and the overtime and all that? If it doesn't, something's going on. She could be claiming working late, overtime, all that. Meanwhile, she's off, doing what she's doing. I asked her if she was seeing or talking to somebody else, and she got very defensive, saying things like, what? You think I'm having a 3-way at work with F and M coworkers? Yes, I do, honey. So I let it be, and she continued to act distant and wouldn't let me touch her either. Okay, so she wants to break up to find herself. She's acting very suspicious, and she's being distant, and she's also not letting you touch her. Yeah, it's time to end this. This is ridiculous. And generally, when women talk about breaking up or stuff like that, or finding themselves, which is a breakup, guess what? There's always somebody else, or they're planning something. Rare is the day they can break up or find themselves, which is a breakup, and not have somebody there. Rare can they be alone. Well, I had a gut feeling, so I started snooping around in anything I had access to and found nothing. Well, women aren't dumb. They're going to cover their tracks. Then it dawned on me to check the dash cam. Sure enough, there is a video from a few days ago of her picking up her male patient far enough away from the hospital while she's on her lunch break. He's about the same age as us and is in there for psychiatric and alcohol-related problems. Talk about a stereotype. The gal's going for cheating and ruining a good relationship, not to mention she's a mother, with some guys in there for, who's a drunk. Let's call it, it is what it is, right? And psychiatric problems. Oh, I can fix him. Well, they went for a drive to somewhere nice and chatted for 30 minutes, ending in a kiss, and she didn't object to. Then on her way home from work, she called one of her best friends, who's also friends with this patient, and told her about the experience. She sounded happy and even giggled. the great thing of modern technology to get this all on camera. So, she is definitely violating some things that could get her lose her license. This guy's got some power, and he's got the evidence right there to show the friends and the family and all that. What a great piece of leverage to, get full custody of the kid. If, he can't say that because, that'd be blackmail, but you get the point. He can hint about it, or his lawyer can. Now I've confronted her already and got her to admit to it after her repeated lying and swearing on our child's life without showing her the videos. She has since seen the videos but hasn't responded. Swearing on her kid's life. Nope, I would never cheat on you, honey. I love you so much. Really? Didn't you just on Tuesday say you wanted to take a break to find yourself? I told her I wasn't going to report her to the hospital, but she said that I told her I was going to report her to the hospital, but she said that I'd be only hurting our child's future if she loses her license. We are finished, but I don't know if I should report her or not. I only care about what's good for my child right now. Now, before we go into his update and everything like that, well, if they obviously are splitting up, and thank God they're not married at least, because then he'd be on the hook for alimony. But they own a house together, and they have the kid. Well, for goodness sake almighty, get a DNA test. But that may not matter to him at this point because he would have a bond with the child and it wouldn't be the child's fault. But, she loses her license. She can't work as much. Perhaps that makes it a better deal that he would get the custody. I don't know. But now he has to think of the kid. That is his sole priority. And, of course, doing something about the house because he can't live with her anymore. Now to the update. He says, I would have updated sooner, but I'm having a really hard time mentally. I went through it all, hating her, hysterical bonding, wondering if there's a chance to fix things. Smack, snap out of it, dude. It's understandable. Guys will go through this, but no, you can't be with her. We talked a lot about what we're going to do going forward, together or not. She blames me for her cheating because I wasn't giving her enough attention and affection because I told her I didn't want any more kids. She blames me for not picking up on her unhappiness these past few months. We're not done. She blames me for telling all her friends she cheated. She chose to cheat. And if he didn't control the narrative, she would. But she's already blaming him for everything. And by the way, the not picking up on her unhappiness, again, we're not all a bunch of Professor Xaviers walking around here. We're not mind readers. Women, if you are unhappy, talk. We know you have the capability to talk. Express that you're unhappy. Talk to us in a way we understand. Not a bunch of fucking mind readers. She cried a lot the first few days. Shocker, Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. But I don't think she felt any remorse. She was crying because I outed her as a cheater. I still haven't reported her. Well, you got leverage over her because you have those videos. She's crying because you outed her. Because now she's going to look bad. Because women don't want to look bad. They want to make the guys look bad. She says here, I can't give you what you need right now. I need time to myself to learn to love myself again. Now you want Chad and Tyrone to love you. She says, if I decide to sleep with someone, I'm going to tell you. I'm not seeing anybody right now. I'd be like, I don't care. We're done. Get the F out. Her affair partner got out of rehab on Wednesday. She got home from work 2 hours late that same day. Oh, what a coincidence. She went to her parents' house with our child this weekend to spend time together. She said she'll be back on Sunday. Her mother doesn't lie to me. She said she dropped our child off at noon on Friday and left right after going to a friend's house. It's 6:30 on Saturday and she hasn't returned. They're not stupid either. They know where she went. Well, she's 30. She's an adult. But then again, there's only so much they can do. But they got to lay down the law with her. I messaged her telling her I want her to leave, and I bagged all her clothes and took back our bedroom. I foolishly let her stay in. She doesn't want to leave, and I know I can't force her to leave our own house. Well, that's the problem. You both own the same house. And in the comment section, he mentioned, yes, she's on the deed, on the mortgage, all that. I called her and asked her where she was last night, and she says she doesn't owe me anything, that she's single and can F whoever she wants. I said, just tell me you're seeing someone so I know I'm not crazy. And she replied, you're not. See? This guy, why torture yourself? Okay? Talk to a lawyer. Find out about custody. Find out the best plan to deal with this house. Okay? And frankly, every conversation he has with her, he should be recording at this point. I wouldn't trust her at all. She's going to use everything she can to paint the picture he's the villain here, make up a bunch of crap. I wouldn't put it past her to have her rehab friend, get physical, and she can blame this guy. Look what he did to me. Wah, wah, wah. It's time to use that video footage as leverage here. Well, she had the nerve to call me selfish because I sent the proof to her best friend who's dealing with an illness in her family, even though this friend had time to talk all kinds of shit about me in the group chat. Hey, you're going to talk shit about me? Here's the evidence. She wants me to be the bad guy for all this fallout from a choice that she made to betray our family. Of course, because no accountability. I told her this affects not only us, but our child. She said our child is too young to know the difference and it's not going to affect them. Bullshit. A 3-year-old will know if there's a lot of turmoil in the house. It's amazing how little kids can pick up on things. She doesn't care about this kid. Well, I lost my cool and called her a WHORE, a bad mother, and a piece of shit. She is all that, and nobody blames you, but now she can use that against you. You gotta keep calm. She will probably be smart enough to use that against me, but I'm not going to hide what I said if asked. I'm so hurt, as if the cheating wasn't bad enough, I don't even recognize the person on the phone. She has zero remorse for what she did. She truly believes this is going to make her happy. How can I stay amicable with someone like this to have a good relationship for our child? Well, that's the problem. Again, DNA test, but I think at this point it wouldn't matter to him. You need to talk to a lawyer, find out what your options are. Try to do everything you can to get custody of this kid. Full custody. Who knows? You never know. I don't even feel like getting revenge now because I know this isn't going to last. I know she's going to regret losing the life she had. Well, who cares? Well, you think she's going to regret it and then beg you back? Well, she probably will. Her parents told me they have to stay neutral, but they recognize that I'm the victim and they still love me and that karma will work things out. They really want karma against their daughter. At the end of the day, she'll cry to her parents and they'll side with her. Every mutual friend or family member I've talked to has said the same thing. How can she do this to you? You treated her better than any man ever did. That's why she did it to him. She's one of those. And she chases a freaking dude in rehab. I have my faults, but I loved her every day and made her feel safe. I just don't get it. I'll do what's best for my child anyways. I'm not sure if I'll be posting any more updates unless she gives me a hard time with separating. Now, he also responds to a lot of comments in the comment section, which I'll read, giving more info here. And by the way, he mentioned something like he actually is worried she might end herself. And quite frankly, if that happened, it'd be like, hey, she's out of the picture. Now I get full custody. Wonderful. And as she said, the kid won't remember anything. Not to mention, well, she'd probably leave the house to, her family or something, but it worked out. One of the comments he says is, thank you. The mortgage and title are in both our names. Every other bill is in my name, and I handled all the finances. She would send me her share. She's been turning her friends and family against me all week, so I've told them and showed them the proof, and I've informed my family as well. Of course she's trying to turn it against, what is she trying to say to her family? Yeah, I've been breaking my code as a nurse, risking my license to sleep with a alcoholic dude in rehab here. How does she explain that away? But she probably cried, he paid attention to me. Another one, he says, we're not married and we're only 2 years into a 25-year mortgage, which means they probably don't have a whole lot of equity aside from their down payment. There are no shared assets. We will have shared debt on the house. Also, she has another degree to fall back on outside the medical field. What, OnlyFans? He also says, yes, her parents aren't happy with her, but to put it lightly, and they have my back. Some friends haven't said a word. One called me to apologize for the nasty things she said about me when she didn't know what was going on. Her sister is as much of a cheat as she is and knew about the affair and didn't tell me. God. Yeah, the parents did a great job with the daughters here. 2 of her cousins that I'm also friends with are disgusted with her. Everyone in her family knows at this point, and none of them are supporting her actions besides her sister, who's a cheater. And lastly, he says, I got ahead of it before she was able to spin the story. Everyone close to her has seen video proof. I will post an update soon. So there you go. And by the way, this story is a year old. I never covered this one, and I remember I did not cover this one, but it was sent to me, and I thought it was a good one to cover here. Now, I'm going to read a couple comments from other people on this whole thing, what he should do, and I agree with this. One guy says here, consult with a divorce attorney and follow his advice to the letter. While you cannot kick her out of her house, you can remove her stuff from the master bedroom and put it in a spare bedroom or the couch. Ooh, did you hear that? He said master bedroom. All the woke folks will go crazy over that. Place a lock in the master bedroom. Oh, he said it again. So only you can use it. Carry a VAR on you anytime that you interact with her. Only speak with the child and avoid everything else. Have her served at work so everybody else sees it at work. Let her immediate family know that she cheated and her close friends so she does not make you out to be the bad guy. Well, she already tried. Follow the attorney's advice to the letter. Cancel mutual credit cards and checking accounts. Change your passcodes on your pension, savings, and personal accounts. Open up a new credit card and checking account in your name only. Have all your pay deposit into a new account. Only communicate about your child and refrain from calling her names. Use the VAR to protect yourself by recording interactions. There you go. Very good sage advice there. So guys, remember, I don't just search nurse and Reddit to find stories here. There's just so many of them. They come to me. So be aware there's certain jobs out there, job fields that it is what it is. You know, you can also add flight attendant to that one and usually teacher. I mean, good. School's back in session now, so we're probably going to see a new article every week in the New York Post or the Daily Mail about some teacher that got busted sleeping with her student. So there's certain fields. Nurse, teachers and flight attendants. There's other ones, but those are the top three. Just be aware of that, what can happen. And, of course, the old accountability thing. So hopefully this guy, things end up all right with him. But what a freaking mess. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, if you find a good story, definitely send it to me. strongsuccessfulmail@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.